Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about why the best upgrade you can give your Leatherman Surge is a downgrade. And this is part of a series I'm doing where I slowly mod my Leatherman Surge. We all know this is a Leatherman Surge version 2, and if you saw my previous video, you know I've put in this silly blade here. And this is my Leatherman Surge version 1. The biggest difference between these are the plier heads. And I actually think that the pliers on the version 1 are way better than the version 2. So I bought a new pair of them, and I'm going to be installing them on my Surge Leatherman version 2. So you may disagree with me. You may like the replaceable wire cutters here, and that's okay, that's great for you. I don't love or hate having replaceable wire cutters, even if I think they do reduce the overall strength of the pliers. For me, I hate the teeth of this plier head. So as you can see here, the teeth are big, but they don't connect because at the very tip is where the pliers actually connect, and where they connect is actually flat against each other. And I've had that slip off of workpieces before. I don't like it. I really like the version 2 where it has a lot of small serrations and serrations at the tip so that when you hook onto a workpiece, it's really on there. I feel secure. So let's change it out to this guy. And here's a banana for fun. Please subscribe. We're going to put this guy aside. For starters, we're going to take this guy apart. Let's fold it back up. I have a number 10 Torx bit here, a T10 Torx bit with a hole in it. So I separated these into two piles. You'll notice that on this pile, each of the implements has two washers, and on this side, they each only have one washer. And unfortunately, the way mine are is wrong. Each side should apparently have two washers. Oh, there we go. Actually, you can see this one has two washers. I'm only missing one washer. I think last time I took this apart, I either lost a washer or it didn't come with the two that it should on this side. You'll notice that I kept these where they are for these specific handles. I kept them on each side so that we can go ahead and replace them. You can see that the head doesn't necessarily have a right or a wrong way. You can see one F, one H. I don't see how that corresponds to anything or how that's any different on either side. They look completely identical. So we're going to start with this side. We know that the knife always comes out on the right hand side. So we know that that right knife is going to be underneath here. So then that right here is going to be in here. I already have a washer on this guy. So I can go ahead, stick that guy in like that. Stick that guy on that side. And we want to push it up so we can get it all the way through. We have to open up the scissors, and now we have that. On this side, I'm gonna double them up, I think is how we're supposed to do it. I forget exactly how these guys go on. I think it's actually supposed to be on either side of the knife, actually, now that I think about it. But I don't see how that would work properly, so we're gonna double these up. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. I'm going to be taking these apart again several times, so if I'm wrong, there's always a chance to be able to fix it. So I just hand tightened that. I don't think it's the greatest to just hand tighten it, but that's working just fine. Now let's install the other one. So again, we can do the same test, put it on right there. So my thumb's coming out this way, which means the knife goes on top. So I'm going to start from the bottom using this guy right here. So this guy's a little finicky, but that's okay. We want to make sure that we line everything up here. Let's put our let's put this guy through. On the very bottom, we'll put our washer. Now, if you see, that hole has to be perfectly lined up to be able to get this to go through. So sometimes it's a little bit of a finicky process because you are trying to push against springs. There we are. Okay. Sometimes it's a bit of a finicky process. When we're putting in this side, remember to make sure that this guy is engaged in his little hole there. I can close that guy up now. And now closing that up, we'll put a little bit more tension on that and hold it in place well. And again, we're going to put 1, 2 of our washers on there. Put this guy back up. And I'm sure that for some people, they can close it up and connect it and have no issues. For me, I've found that when I'm closing these guys up, I find that when I'm closing these up, it can provide a little bit of an issue because this knife is a little bit thicker than the original one. And I'm just barely hand tightening it, making sure that it's going in. That's going in. I'm probably going to end up replacing this blade because it is sort of scary. When you try to open it up like that, there's that piece of meat right there is really close to being cut off. But, you know, maybe it will grow on me. We'll see. But now we have these guys on there. Now, one of the problems with the version 1 cutters is that the tip right there on either side can fold in just a little bit. So you can see here, it's very easy to use, but when it's closed, it stays closed because those little tiny bits need to be filed down a little bit from the inside so that it works better. But there you go. Now I've removed the version 2 head and I have the version 1 head. It still folds. Oh. And actually, I think that shows why they changed the plier heads. On these ones, you can see it's not as bad, but there's like a double click, right? And these guys, they open up just fine, but you have to close them like that. Unfortunately, that's just the way these version 1 plier heads go, and if it annoys me in the future, you'll see I'll end up changing back. But for now, all the locks are engaging for the different implements, and they all work still just fine. You may ask, how come I took the time to buy a version 1 plier head and put it on this guy instead of just using either the version 1 plier head off of this guy or modding this guy? Great question. For starters, when I close this, one of the key differences between these two, you can see the refinement in the handle shapes. The lines here are much more square and actually, when you're using it like this, cut into your hand. Whereas on the version 2, they're a lot more rounded over and not as square, so they feel a lot better in your hands when you're using any of the implements. The reason why I wouldn't have taken the plier heads off the version 1s and put them on the version 2s, just exchange them, is because I really don't want to mod this multi-tool yet. It has a lot of sentimental value to me, as I've mentioned in previous videos. Maybe the Surge version 2 plier head is better, and I'm completely ignorant. But having the Surge version 1 plier head on helps me feel a lot more confident about these pliers. And Mark Twain said, "All you need in this life is ignorance and confidence, and then success is sure." If you like this video, check out part 1 of my Leatherman Surge Mod series.